Tuesday, September 5th, 6 o'clock p.m., and this is the Historic and Architectural Review Board. Our first order of business is going to be the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would please stand. So our first order tonight is HARB 2018-05, which is 309 Midland Avenue. We have, this is a continuance from our last meeting, and you're going to tell us a little bit about the garage coming down and building a new one.
Evening, I'm Nick Keneally. I'm here at my friends, the Finleys, kind of holding their hand through the process here. This is a home on Midland. It's a second home in from the corner of Midland and Aberdeen near St. Catherine's Church and School. It backs up to the BP car wash and the Sunoco station there on the corner of Lancaster and Aberdeen. It's an old Victorian style home, as you see from the pictures here. The Finleys purchased it in 2001. The garage is old. You saw the pictures, I believe, in the packet showing how dilapidated it is. It's falling down. Actually, it's being held up by a stucco repair that was done before the Finleys purchased the home in 2001. The Finleys wish to convert the garage to a three-car garage. You can see on the plan it's slightly larger than the existing garage. And pulled over a little bit closer to the property line. They will maintain the rear wall of the garage, which is an existing nonconformity, in order that they don't have to go to the zoning hearing board. This wall here, that will be maintained. That's the wall that backs up to the BP car wash. And they will be moving it. You see the footprint of the existing garage in this location, be moving it slightly to the right. You can see by the pictures where it's being moved. It still complies with the setback, which is 10 feet is a requirement. This garage will be 17 feet from the side property line. This adjacent neighbor has no issue with it at all. The Finleys have 7 children, so that's part of the reason why they desire a 3-car garage instead of a 2-car garage. As I mentioned, it is slightly larger than what is existing. I believe you have some photos here. The colors will match the existing colors of the house, which is, Marita, I guess you would call colonial blue.
Certainty vinyl impression siding.
So it'd be very similar to the style of the home, very much in keeping with the Victorian style of the home. There's photographs here indicating the deteriorating condition of the garage. And then you also, as you get to the end of the packet that was submitted by the Finleys, you see the existing garage, which is stucco. As I said, this stucco was done prior to the Finleys purchasing the home in 2001, which is basically what they've been told is holding up the home right now. So except for that back wall, it will be an existing new structure. And if you can just describe, Dan, basically what it will look at. I'm looking at page 7. That looks like an east side elevation here. And if you describe what the new garage will look like. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we don't have.
Yeah, so we just wanted to keep with the existing look of the garage, and it'll be a 3-car garage with bringing the stairs interior to make them safer for the storage area on the top floor. And then if you see the next page from the side, it's very much the same gambrel roof line, same dormers as we have in place. And as he said, the siding will match the existing siding on the house, which is the Certainty vinyl impression siding that's used on a number of the homes throughout South Wayne and North Wayne. And then the back side is going to have no windows or anything, because big value of this garage is creating the buffer with a car wash and all the light infiltration that we get from the commercial properties there. And by moving it over a little bit in the driveway, it makes it a much more functional garage, because right now, part of the building's not lined up with the existing driveway, so that piece can't be used as a functional garage. And before we refurbished it, we were parking one car in there, and now we'll get more productive use out of the space, and keeping the exterior of the building very much in keeping with the neighborhood and the architecture, and giving us a structure that should last the next 100 years.
Could you tell me, please, approximately how much bigger?
How much the project will cost?
No, how much bigger it is?
Oh, it's
Is it 1/3 again as big?
no, not even 1/3. It depends whether you count in it's going to be 40 by 21, and right now it's 36 by 20.
So you're only,
So making space to bring the stairs interior, and just making it 1 foot deeper to actually make it a functional garage to be able to fit cars parking in.
So I guess it's 4 feet wider than existing.
Yeah.
4 feet wider, right, okay.
And then what about the height?
I think we're going to stay in conformity to the 20 feet. And from what I can tell, that's exactly where we are right now.
You may have put it in there, and I overlooked it. What is the building date of the garage? What year was it built?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What year was the garage built?
Exact year the garage was.
I think close to the same time as the house.
What date
Yeah.
was the house built?
1890?
Okay, so it would have been a stable first?
But there has been renovations to it, I think probably before the Harb came into existence, as you can see by the stucco.
So can you clarify for me, you mentioned that the current structure is in need of being removed. And part of that is this bow in the back wall. But then you were saying you're keeping the back wall? Did I mishear that?
Yeah, they'll be able to straighten that out as part of the process, because they're going to reinforce the entire back wall as part of the new construction.
So it currently does or does not have a foundation?
It does not have a foundation. No. And at that point, the back wall won't be load bearing, so.
And I guess I have two questions. One is, how much of this are you going to see from the street? And the second question is, what are the style of garage doors that you plan to put on this?
I actually took some pictures for you. You cannot see the garage easily from the street. And that
now,
that
you
won't
can't see
change.
it easily from the street, but what you want to put in,
You still won't be able to. The house comes out, and if you look at the, like right here on this picture, this is the initial driveway and the side of the house, so, and we have a row of evergreens down the driveway, so, if you stand at the very end of my driveway and look all the way to the back of the property, you can see a little bit of the garage, but the part that you'll be able to see will replace your view of a car wash.
Yeah, the plot plan shows the existing dwelling here in this location. And then the garage is almost in line with it, maybe a couple feet to the east.
You'll see a few feet. Right now, what you look up at is the car wash up the driveway.
And from the left side of the house over here, as you can see in this picture, you can look past the house and see the garage, and that'll move over, so you'll see less of the garage from that vantage point.
In between, right now, there's a cherry tree, which is full. There's plum trees, which will cover a lot of it. and then
And we're trying to make it attractive, so what you do see from the street will be appealing to the neighborhood.
So the view now is more of the car wash.
the car wash.
Yeah.
And the car wash actually backs right up to your property line almost, doesn't it?
Right, that is the entrance to the car wash right there. And
style
the
of
garage doors are going to be beadboard style, keeping with what a lot of people use with the windows on the top, insulated vinyl garage doors. And the color scheme's going to keep with the house, the cream and the blue. And the garage doors would be the cream color.
Will you tell me again the exterior material to be used on the garage?
The exterior.
Exterior material.
will be
It would be the Certainty vinyl, or cedar and pressure vinyl siding. And that's exactly what's on the
That's what's
house
on
today.
the house right now.
Okay. I noticed that there's an aluminum fence proposed around the pool, which has not been built yet?
It's not been built, we're waiting.
Okay, and are there trees being taken down do they qualify for shade commission approval?
No, no shade commission.
I don't think
trees will
that's-
be touched.
Part of what we're supposed to discuss here.
There's no trees being taken down by the garage,
Not by the
correct? Yeah,
garage,
yeah.
no.
Could you explain, if you're only adding 4 feet, how you're going to put a third car?
It can already fit. We actually could fit a third car right now in the size of the structure.
Okay.
If you look at the original, the 2 doors are centered.
I assume you don't park 3 cars in there now.
Yeah.
I mean, you do not park 3 cars in there now. Yeah.
Or 1 car in this door, but if you look at how these are spread out, there's actually almost room for 3 garage doors in the current structure. And the expansion is primarily to enclose the staircase. Which I assume the staircase wasn't original to the construction of these.
It's hard to tell from your drawings. Could you talk to us about the roofing material for the garage?
The roofing material.
Is going to be metal roofing.
Is there a metal roof anywhere else on your property?
No, but the next door neighbor has metal roofing on her property.
Is there a picture of that included here?
No, just on the renderings. That's really a decision primarily driven by the squirrels and trying to stay ahead of the endless.
And we thought metal roofing would actually be keeping more in character with the neighborhood. Thought that was an upscale to asphalt.
Again, it's hard to tell from the pictures, but what kind of roof is on the house?
Yeah, asphalt shingles on there
Okay.
now. I can't imagine that's original.
In a house that old, I'd be very surprised if your roof was original and intact.
So you didn't bring us any reports stating that the structure had to be removed for structural integrity. And I'm just having a problem. I like, what you're doing, and it looks like you're trying to keep it nice for the community. And according to you, it's not going to be much bigger than what's there. And that's good, because we are worried about the sizing and scale of new structures. But I can't, the keeping the back wall, but the back wall is part of the reason why you have to tear it down. Like, I can't understand that logic. So I don't know if I'm missing something, or if you can explain it better.
I'll tell you, one of the main reasons for keeping the back wall is you have an existing nonconformity, is 6.5 feet. If we remove that back wall, then we lose that existing nonconformity. So actually, that was my advice to the Finleys, was to, if he can, to keep the back wall or some element of the back wall so that he can maintain that existing nonconformity, because right across from it is the car wash. So he wouldn't need it, he would have to go to the zoning hearing board to get a variance if it was going to be closer, any closer than 10 feet from that rear property line. So I think they probably took my advice, and that's one of the reasons why they were keeping that back wall, to be perfectly honest.
And our neighbor was strong. We have adjoining driveways with, you know, a little strip of bushes down the middle, and she would much prefer that we keep the current setback because it blocks less of her view across to the church and the backyards.
And we're referring to the neighbor, on the plan at least, who's to the right of you, to the east of you.
Correct.
So she would prefer, her house is probably a little further up, and she would prefer the garage being further back, so as
Correct.
she can't see it.
It was extensive conversations also with different builders that we met with, local builders who said, yes, this absolutely, you know, this can be done, this is something that I can help you with, and, you know, you have to try to, you know, work with it, because around most of the rest of the building, there's just the foundation is just completely and totally.
Did you talk to the builders about possibly rehabbing the garage?
Yeah, we talked to a number of builders. In fact, you know, that's some of the pictures people were looking at. Could you get to the foundation? Is there anything there? There was nothing there. All the wood's rotted out. All the roof lines are rotted out. Danny Sheridan, for one, who does a lot of work in this community, said that, you know, he would have to spend a considerable amount of money and not know where he is, right? Because you're going to be uncovering more problems as you go. So no one was able to put forward a project plan or recommend that we try and refurbish the structure. And from a structural perspective, one of the challenges of it, the beams go lengthwise, which is why it, you know, structurally not a sound building. The beam should actually go the other way, which is making the gambrel roof separate over time on itself and all the problems we have.
I'm going to go back to my original, because one thing that builders like to do is build. And so it would stand to reason that one after another would tell you, this needs to be built. But what I see you losing is a garage that has a huge amount of charm on the outside that you can't reproduce today. And I'm not comfortable with a bunch of builders told us there's no structural integrity. I would be more comfortable if a structural engineer presented a report that said this is going to fall down, but
I
these things
understand.
aren't
And,
done.
it's kind of tough on a garage to pay a structural engineer a couple $1,000s to get
Well,
a structural
they're
report.
not-
I guess we could. I mean, it's.
I'm a realtor, and I never paid a structural engineer anything like that, ever. And there are many times that I've had to call structural engineers in to debate an issue like a tilting chimney, you name it. But the garage has a lot of charm. I can see that having a view of the car wash would not be charming, but I'm not comfortable with this. I don't know how you all feel.
The one thing I can add, Danny Sheridan, who's a good friend of ours, he looked at it, and he doesn't want to build the new one. He's like, that's not my line of work, and recommended us to someone. So he was not telling us that he can't refurbish it in order to build a new one. He was telling us because, as a friend, it's not money well spent. So just give you that additional color on it. And we've talked to builders who, won't take on the project before we looked at building a new one. Because our original plan was to refurbish it as well. And just didn't be, it's not an economic endeavor, and the outcome of it would not be nearly as functional as what we're attempting to build.
It looks very nice now. I just 2 years ago spent over $6,000 just because I couldn't stand. It looked so horrible on a property. And the absolute plan was, here's the beginning of a refurbishment process. We tried very, very hard to refurbish this. We wanted to, and it's cost prohibitive. We just can't not do it based on, you know, good friends not even giving us quotes saying, you're gonna spend, I can't even give you a quote of a completed project, I can give you, you know, I can.
So if I might interrupt you, we are not charged with considering how much money something costs to take. We're charged with keeping a historic district historic looking. So we need to make decisions within the realm of what we are, you know, authorized, for lack of better words, to do. And I understand Terry's concern. People oftentimes come in with the structural engineer's report, with the neighbors saying, yeah, please do this project. And it's not that we don't believe you, but we have to make a decision here based on your opinion instead of actual reports and other neighbors showing up or letters from neighbors or whatever it might be. So in that sense, it's a bit difficult. As a homeowner, I understand how things can be cost prohibitive. But again, you moved into a historic district. We can't say, oh, well, you know what, it costs too much to keep a historic district, so we're not going to, you know, we're not going to worry about, you know, that piece of it anymore. So unfortunately, we can't, we do, but we can't let that sway our opinion too much. So I understand from your point of view as a homeowner, and I'm, you know, sorry about that. But it would help us to have more concrete evidence than your opinions of your neighbors and of your potential contractors. So it's just a little bit of an awkward situation for us because usually we have that information in front of us. At this time,
Okay,
I
let
don't
me
know. Okay.
talk to him.
Make a motion that we table it until they can come back with the structural engineer's report. What else can we do? That was brilliant.
We would respectfully request a continuance. We'll try to provide more information at the next hearing. It shouldn't be that long. Again, hopefully we'll get a report from a structural engineer. We'll get a letter from the neighbor saying that, you know, she prefers a location in the appearance.
That would be very helpful.
Okay.
I think also if you could modify your design somewhat, it doesn't look like it's a particularly advanced design, so you still have a lot of opportunities to tinker with it. If we could be more assured that it's going to almost exactly replicate what's there, just with a change of doors and an enclosed staircase, I think we would be much more inclined to allow that to be, because you're really essentially just rearranging the doors on the front. But the design of what you presented with us, which is really very minimal, does not show us that you want to replace like with like. And so when you come back, if you would consider those design changes, I think you'll find us much more likely to give you more consideration.
And I would say it's not so much the level of detail, it's the images that you gave us sort of look like one of those aluminum buildings. So it's just kind of tweaking that piece so that we understand what the materials are a little bit better. Just a piece. But
So I would like to make a motion that we grant a continuance to HARB 2018-05 until such time as they can come back with a structural engineer's report and a redesigned building. Do you want to second that, Terry?
A second.
all those in favor, please say aye. All right, all are in favor, so we'll see you at the next
Okay.
meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. All right, at this time, we're going to move on to our second application, HARB 2018-07, 310 North Wayne Avenue.
And thank you for your patience.
addition of the first floor family room and second floor bedroom, garage renovation, and re-siding of the home exterior.
Hi, I'm Jenna Burnup. Do you prefer that? Whatever. Oh, this is fine. This is fine. This is my husband Dan and our contractor Mike Rowe. So our house is at 310 North Wayne Avenue, next to Dr. Bernstein's office. We're looking to put a 20 by 16 square foot family room addition on the back, which will replace an existing cement patio, as well as add, I believe it's about 10 by 10 square feet to the second floor. Right now there's a flat roof on the second floor, so it would give us a peaked roof, and we'd regain that additional small amount of space. And then the garage currently has a flat roof. Be looking to put a peaked roof on the garage, as well as add 8 feet of depth to the existing one-car garage.
Okay, these are the giant plans.
So if you would, so we are concerned with what you see from the public right-of-way.
Yes.
So if you could go over sort of what we see now and what we will see when it's done, that would help us. You know, if the addition you don't see from any public
Yeah.
right-of-way, then we're not worried about it.
Okay, great.
So anything that we do see is what we want to talk to you about.
Okay, great. So you won't see any of the rear addition on the house, the first or second story. You won't see any of the additional space being added to the garage. It's just straight back. You can see the front of our garage door is straight at the end of our driveway, which sits to the right of our house. So you would see the front face of the garage. So it will get a peaked roof, a new garage door, and new siding. And then the exterior of the rest of the house will be re-sided. So right now it's a combination of vinyl and aluminum 4-inch siding. We're looking to replace all of that. That's all you can see from the road.
Was it built in the 1890s?
Yes.
So then some owner along the way decided to de-Victorianize it.
I know.
So luck would have it. Are any of the architectural features left inside?
Not really inside. Outside, we have a tiny bit, I think, of original wood, which we'll keep there, but that's about it. So, yeah.
That's very hard to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of siding are you replacing it with?
Yeah, so we're looking to use the CertainTeed vinyl impression, cedar impression siding on the front faces of the garage and the house, and in some detail areas on the side, and then straight siding for the rest of the sides. 7-inch.
And before I unfold this giant packet, which is the page that has the garage? I'd like to see what it's going to look like.
I think it sits in the back of your stack. It's just a single page that's separate for the garage. Sorry.
I know these houses weren't built with garages, but that, I think, what you're showing us is much closer to what the other ones have.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's more similar to what the original would have looked like. Not, our garage certainly is not original.
No, it looks nice.
Are you keeping the detail in the corbels on the side of the house and things like that?
Yes, that's the small bit that we have to hold on to.
And I'm sorry, do you see the whole front of the garage from the
Yeah,
street?
it's a straight shot, kind of to drive a car into the garage from the street.
I don't think so, and that's when I wish Greg were here. Maybe he'd have a little bit more perspective on the builder. But he's not.
Okay, well, we've already established that you do not need to come before us for the rear addition if it cannot be seen from the street.
Great.
The garage is much more in keeping with the design of the house. I congratulate your architect. It's a nice job. If it's going to look like that, I'll make a motion that we issue a certificate of appropriateness.
I'll second.
Could I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Is the garage you're building, is it the same size as the garage that's there?
It's the same width.
Same width,
Yes.
just longer?
Yep.
Okay.
But those are deep properties, so longer doesn't really make a difference.
I think I already seconded.
So all those, she already seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All are in favor. So at this point in time, we'd like to grant you the certificate of appropriateness. Good luck with your project.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
What difference does it not mean as we vote?
Oh, really? Yeah.
No, thank you. That's good. We're glad people are coming to us and trying to make things nicer.
Thank you.
Yep. At this point in time, I would open up the floor to any public participation, but it appears we have no other public. So do we have any other new business or old business today? No? All right. At this point,
Sure.
I'm going to adjourn this meeting.